Good morning. It is Wednesday, so it's time for my midweek pickup. As usual, adversity. Definition is pretty short and clear cut. Difficulties or misfortune. And that's something that we probably all can relate to. But today I want to talk about adversity in the way that it can attack you right when you're trying to do something new or trying to do something different. When you're trying to establish yourself, or when you're just trying to maybe take the right step in the right direction or whatever. Adversity always seems to rear its head um, when you're trying to do something to better yourself. As you know, I use myself in a lot of my midweek pickups for examples and everything, and I don't have a problem with that, so I'm going to do it again today. As you all know, if you've been keeping up with me and everything, you know, I wanted to take this jump into my own business and everything, and just doing things, you know, for myself, becoming an entrepreneur full time instead of, you know, doing it half time or whatever the case may be. So when I finally did that or whatever, of course, you know, the first week, you know, you're pumping, your adrenaline's rushing. You still feel kind of awkward because you're not, you know what I'm saying, doing the same routine that you were doing for the past 5 or however long years or whatever the case may be. So it may feel like, you know what I'm saying, you get everything done early in the day, you don't have nothing else to do, then it seems like you've been off forever and it's only been like 2 days. It feels like it's been 2 weeks or 2 months or something like that. But then, you know, the main focus is not to lax, not to let up on anything, to just do something every day that's going to benefit you or benefit your business or whatever the case may be. But then when you're going and you think you done took off with your full sprint or whatever, adversity comes and the trail that you're running on might become a little bit more rugged, or the terrain may change on you or whatever. That's going to make you that could possibly make you slow down. But the goal is not to stop, because again, you know, difficulties and misfortunes, it happens all the time. We never know what's going to happen when we wake up in the morning. We never know what could happen, you know, to us or in our lives that's going to throw a monkey wrench in the plans that you have. Like here recently with me and my family or whatever, did some car repairs here. The day after we get everything fixed on the car, you know, just get the car completely good and running right or whatever, somebody hits us, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, you know, you're doing good, you just paid this off or whatever, and then something else comes up and it throws something in your way to kind of roadblock you or whatever. But if you're aware of what's going on and what's happening to you, and you know you've come to grips of what your decision that you were going to make, you're going to have to also know that with that decision, adversity is going to come. Something's going to happen to where it's going to try and throw you off track to discourage you a little bit. So you can either do one or two things. You can get out of the way of the roadblock, go around it, or you can sit there at the roadblock thinking that somebody's going to come along and pick it up for you and move it out your way. But that's not how it goes, and that's not how we should handle adversity. So I'm going to give you a few tips on how you could handle adversity, and, you know, just some things that I've tried to do in order to make it a little bit better to get through adversity. And number one is try your hardest not to blow your top and get mad. You know, I know it's easy for somebody to tell you that and everything, but at the same time, the more energy you put in being angry at something or whatever that's not going to change, and you know that you're going to have to deal with it, why put the energy of anger out there anyway? Why put more negative stress on yourself when you could just go on and be like, okay, I know, you know what I'm saying? What I tell myself is I know why this is happening. You know what I'm saying? I don't question, you know, I don't be like, oh my God, why are you doing this to me, or why is this happening? That's not the place or the stance that I need to take in that situation. I just need to understand, hey, this just happened. You know what I'm saying? What's my next move so I can, you know what I'm saying, get through this so I can go on to something else. And then when you go on to something else, sometimes, bam, something else happens, you know what I'm saying? And then you're like, okay, I got to adjust again, or whatever the case may be. And it might come at you all at once, you know what I'm saying? It might be a couple days where it's been like straight hell for you or whatever, and you in the back of your mind you're thinking, man, like what else is gonna happen next? But instead of thinking that way and letting that negativity get to you, you just gotta kind of tell yourself, hey, whatever's next, I'm gonna be ready for it. So you have to get your mind ready, you have to get your emotions ready, you have to get everything in check, so when or if that does happen, you know what I'm saying, you could be like, okay, I kind of projected something like this was gonna happen. Let me take a step back, look at what I'm gonna do to get out of this little hole real quick, and then, you know what I'm saying, get back up, full sprint action, and start running again. Because a lot of people don't realize is that in difficult times, you know what I'm saying, it's so easy to fall completely off. That's why you hear or see so many people that if they are going through depression or whatever, they start losing things, which causes more depression, you know what I'm saying? And then it'll completely break you because you're not even preparing yourself, or you're not knowing how to deal with that situation. So you're letting the difficult time and the adversity get the best of you, where you could have kind of tried to adapt to it and be like, okay, instead of me, freaking out or flipping out or blaming this person, blaming that person, let me see what I can do for myself to get myself back in the positive lane so I can handle this situation and keep going with what my main goal is. And that's what you have to do. Always keep your main goal and your main focus in your sight. It's your objective. You have to remember to complete your objective, because if not, why even do it? You know what I'm saying? What were you trying to do that for if you weren't completely ready to face everything, the good and the bad that can come out of it? Because so many people and so many of us only want to think about, one-sided things. We only think, oh, it's getting bad, I know it's going to get worse. Or we think it's nothing that's bad, it's going to stop me. But you have to be a realist. You have to know how to deal with reality and know, hey, something could happen. So when something happens, I'm going to be a little bit more prepared for it, because I already know, hey, something could happen. And it's not saying that you're fearing for something to happen or you're wanting for something to happen, but you just have to be real about it. You have to know, hey, something could happen. It might not be, what you think it is or whatever. Like, I really didn't think that somebody was going to hit my car. But, you know what I'm saying, I knew, hey, something could happen, you know what I'm saying? I just made this jump. It may be a little slow at first or whatever, but, once you get the gears grinding and kind of get going, adversity will kind of take a back seat to you. It's only when you're starting off is when everything's going to try and, it's like you're a magnet and you're attracting all the negative things that the universe is trying to put out towards you or whatever, just to see if you're going to stick it out or you're going to put your tail between your legs and, go in the corner or whatever. But my suggestion to you is just always try and be prepared and always know, when I'm trying to do something to better myself, adversity could come in and try and, throw me off a little bit. But if I'm prepared for it, if I'm ready, if something could happen and I'm a little bit ready, then it'll be a little bit better and adversity won't hit me as hard as it could have hit me, because I'm already mentally there knowing that, hey, okay, let me just change routes real quick. I'm still going towards my objective, but maybe I need to, get on the feeder for a mile and then hop back on the freeway where the traffic's moving a little bit faster again. That's all there is to it. So with that being said, everybody out there that's trying to better yourselves and that's trying to do, something a little bit different for yourself, don't fear adversity, but just know, who could be your enemy. And that's about knowing who your enemy is. Adversity is your enemy because it's difficulties and misfortunes that could come your way. So that's your enemy. So just know your enemy, kind of study up on it or whatever you need to do. So when your enemy does show his face, you can be like, oh yeah, bow, watch out, bow, get out my face. I'm not ready for that, and you're not ready for it either. But with all that being said, Everybody have a good week. God first, family second, everything else will follow. And keep listening. Appreciate everybody for listening. Peace.